All right, we are ready to get this thing started. How's everybody doing, guys? This is Jason Brown, Chairman 500 here with iMarkets Live, and I am excited to be hosting yet another. Let me get rid of those noises in the background. But I am excited to be hosting yet another Next Wave Leadership call. A few months ago, we took this call from simply being released to Platinum 1000s and growing leaders in the organization. And we decided to make it available to everybody who has an ambition and a desire to build this business at a high level. I think it's very important not only to have great opportunities. I think it's very important not only to have great leadership, but it's very important to have great training. Okay, I've realized that a well-trained team is a successful team. It's a team that can continue to drive into momentum, a team that can continue to grow. And this whole company is actually a team. No matter who you work with, who's your upline, P2000, 5000, chairman 50, chairman 100, chairman 500, we all work together. And, as a group, we represent this company around the globe in probably over 100 countries at this point. So I think it's very important that we come together as many times as humanly possible to really give the field and the up-and-coming leaders, and not only the up-and-coming leaders, but all of the leaders, the best possible information to go out and grow their business. And, what I started doing a few months ago when we started doing these calls is I started inviting different chairmen and different leaders from all the different organizations within iMarkets Live to find out, what's working, the good practices, the day-to-day grind, not just the stories, because we don't want the stories. We want the takeaways. We want the notes. We want the nuggets. And I felt like, what better to do on tonight's call than to bring on our newest Chairman 10s in iMarkets Live, Brittany and Malcolm. And these two are incredible. Got to meet them at, it was both events, the Atlanta event and at convention. And it's really funny because we communicate here and there on Instagram, and they're so consistent, so hardworking, so well represented. They hit chairman yesterday, I believe it was yesterday. And then I see on social media a few hours later, they're back doing an event. They're with the leadership of Justin Owens, David Imonitie. So, the apple never falls far from the tree. And it's extremely, extremely exciting. So I asked them to be on tonight's call. You guys are also going to hear later from Chairman 50, Jonathan Lopez, a gentleman who's known as Mr. International. He's built teams in many, many different countries around the world. So excited to hear from Johnny. But for the next 20, 25 minutes, you guys are going to get insight from the newest chairman 10 in iMarkets Live, an absolute power couple. I'm so excited you guys are on this call. So without any further ado, I'm going to make you guys the host so you can, start your video and take this thing away. So there we go. Look at them. Look at them. They got the Post-it notes. They got the affirmation. Is that affirmations? The goals on the wall? What are you guys doing over there?
They're there.
They are there. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you guys before they go. I'm going to tell everybody here. You gotta live it. You gotta immerse yourself in it. You gotta be it. It's gotta become you. And look, these two are a great example of that. So guys, have fun. We're excited to learn from you. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jason, for having us. On the call, totally great inspiration, leader, mentor. We absolutely appreciate you. Super excited about this, and this stuff is real. As you can hear, I barely have a voice. That's how many calls we've done. Presentations we've done. It's been absolutely insane, but I'll let you go.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Jason, for bringing us on, being able to share, our stories and our takeaways from how we built the business. So, I'm appreciative of you and your leadership and, everything you've been doing, man.
One of the biggest things that we really, 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 really wanted to touch on was like the truth about consistency, because like Jason said, like this stuff is real. We have it around us all day long, and consistency was something that was major for us because it's so easy to get distracted. And I remember coming out of Miami, our leader, Mr. Owens, he had a call. We did a mentorship call, and he said, one of the biggest things that you're going to have to do if you want to level up is focus and communicate. you have to have extreme, immense focus, and you have to communicate consistently. And a lot of times I believe when we're ranking up and we're going to the next level, we feel like, oh, I got it. I don't have to do a three-way anymore because I got it. I closed 45 people, so I'm good. I don't have to talk to my leader anymore to make sure that I'm growing immensely or focus on what it is that you want to do. There's so much stuff that happens in life that can deter us. All of 2018, we were planning for a wedding. And I feel like we put more effort into the business than into planning for the wedding, because at the end of the day, we had to recognize and realize that our wedding was just a day, but our marriage was a lifetime, and we were securing a bag, securing a lifestyle for everything that was coming after that day. Whereas most people would just focus on, I got to buy a cake, I got to get a dress, I got to get like we didn't care about that because of this opportunity was going to set us up for a lifetime. So how long are you really going to be able to be consistent and focus on what it is that you want? Because life is going to happen. And sometimes we utilize, life happening and use that as an excuse for why I'm not able to do something, or why can't I get on a call and do a webinar when I've been on, I've been at work all day. He works still full time. Yeah, and when we hit chairman the other day, everybody's first question was, did Malcolm quit his job today? Did Malcolm quit his job today? And although, yeah, perhaps it might work out, we'd be good if he did. However, is that what matters right now? You know what I mean? You got to secure the bat and be wholly there before you move on. Somebody says, I'm at work right now. Literally, you got to make sure you're focused. Like, your job is not the excuse. We literally leave the job and go right to a meeting almost every other day because there was no excuse. So what you have to recognize, and one of the biggest things, is that life will happen. It's going to continue to happen. And it's not just happening to you. I'm pretty sure it's happening to Jason. I'm pretty sure it's happening to everybody, still happening. But what are you going to be focused on? Are you sold out on the goals? That's why this stuff is all around, so that you're always seeing exactly where you're going. Because if you have no chief aim, no goal, no nothing that you're going for, it's easily to get distracted. I remember at Go Beyond, when D.L. Woods was talking about the blinders and the bird box. Like, literally the blinders was some of the things that we had to really focus on, and not listening to what people were saying, or we can't hang out all the time and be in the places that we would love to be at because we have some things that we want to accomplish. And most times we get in the mode of we want to please everybody, but that doesn't feel good. When you don't make the sacrifice, you can't get to the next level. And that's what we really, really did, was sacrifice and get on that consistency to doing something consistently so much so that you know that you're going to see the results. May not come today, may not come tomorrow, may not come next week, but if you're consistent, you're absolutely going to get to the result based off of what you're focused on all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just to piggyback on what she said, like, we had to make a decision. And I think that's where most people get stuck at, is in the indecision phase of, do I go full throttle into the business, or do I make excuses for what I'm doing and where my situation is? And we literally came to a decision that we have to change what we're doing in order to get a result that we've never had before. So we had to make that decision. It couldn't have been about work, I'll work 12 hours a day, wherever it is. No, we had to get a complete focus and see the goal before we got to it. So I'm telling you, there's going to be naysayers, that may say your business is not going to work. Your business is not going to work. Or this is a scam. This is that. And you got to just put the blinders on, because at the end of the day, when you hit chairman, they're going to ask you how you did it. I'm telling you now from experience, people are going to look at you and you're going to show them the opportunity, and they're going to look at you sideways that you can't do it. But you absolutely can. And most things that people have, if you have success, it's because you did exactly something that somebody else wouldn't do. Every day, if you did something that somebody else would not do, if you do it long enough, you're going to get a result. You're going to get the result. And you're going to get what most people don't have. Most people aren't consistent enough, and that's why they don't have what they want. But if you stay consistent in doing the things that you're supposed to do, you got to stay attached to your upline. You got to stay attached to your mentor. Every day we're talking to our mentor. What can we do? What can we do better? How can we be better leaders? And these are the things you got to start humbling yourself and be able to ask so you can become that better leader. If you don't have an upline, you got to become the upline that you would want to have. You got to start working on your personal self-development. We had to do that every single day. So one thing we did do when we started this opportunity, we cut off our cable. We had to cut it completely off because we knew that was a distraction. Distractions like that, we had to cut it off completely. So we was like, okay, if I can focus, if if I can focus for 90 days at a time, if I can focus at 90 days at a time, where can we be 90 days from now? And then once you did that, we had to see, okay, now we're building consistency. Now we're building consistency. So now everything that you're doing is by habit. It's not by accident anymore. Now it's by habit. So now if you're doing an event every day, if you're showing the plan every day, it's easy. Now you're building your stamina up. We had to build our stamina up in order to be able to do meetings till 1 a.m. Because I'm telling you now, if you're trying to go chairman, if you're trying to build the business, you have to build a stamina. You have to build a stamina. You have to withstand sometimes where you may be tired during the presentation. You got to keep the energy. How do you do that? You got to consistently do it all the time. You may be doing a training call and you may be tired. You may have worked all day, but you got to keep doing it. That's how you build the stamina. I literally, the day that we hit P2000 and we were going for P5, we asked our mentor, what can we do? Because that's what we did after every rank. What can we do better? What can we do now? Who could we develop? And he said, in order to get to this next rank, you can't go home no later than 1 a.m. So what did we do? We got a thing called running the play in our organization. So we ran the play every single day for 3 months straight. We did not get home until at least 1 a.m. Why is that? Because we was out showing the plan, wherever it is, or training our leaders, or wherever it is. We were serving. If you serve enough, you're going to start earning like the people that serve. All right. So I mean, those are the things that you got to start developing now, because if you're going to get the result that you want, you have to do something that somebody is not willing to do. And then most of the time, it's the consistency aspect.
And one of the things that our leader tells us all the time is, you got to be mindful of what the masses are doing, because most of the time the M is silent, right? Most of the time the M is silent. When you do something different, you get something different. And when it comes up to stamina, like, he works full time. When it came down to it, like, I literally lost my voice probably 2 weeks ago, but it didn't stop the fact that I had to find a way where I can still create whatever I've been having, despite what it feels like right now. So consistency is a major key. What you really have to recognize is, like, this business is so simple if you run the play. Anybody who's on this call who's played sports, you understand if you are out of position, you don't get the ball. If you're not in position, you don't get your play. If you are a post player, you're 7'2", why are you at the top of the key? If you got to understand your positioning and run exactly the play. One thing that we challenged ourselves with going from P5 to chairman was, can I do everything they say? If you don't have an upline, like he said, these calls are every week. The mentorship call is every Sunday night. You have that mentorship. There's stuff on YouTube everywhere. Literally, I've watched Jason's video. I've seen Christopher Derrick's stuff, how he trains on his team, what to do when you're new, how to get somebody started. Guys, this stuff is available to you. There's nothing that you're lacking. It's just, are you going to find it, or are you waiting for it to find you? Because if you're waiting for it to find you, you'll never get it. One of the biggest things that you have to pay attention to, we're going to events. They're giving us everything that we need to go chairman. Literally, I mean, it was so surreal to be chairman when it's like, yo, this is what we talked about all the time. This is what we say, chairman, chairman, chairman. I'm going chairman. Who was at Vegas and said, I'm going chairman? And if that was you, guess what? What did you do when you left? What did you apply when you left? Have you gone back through the notes that you took while you were there? If you didn't, then guess what? You're doing yourself a disservice. To know and not to do is not to know at all. We know everything to do. The chairman blueprint. Have you watched David Emenetie's video? I literally remember the day that Justin sent me the video when we first got into the business. It was August 2017. The stuff still stands. And I remember the day that I had the biggest epiphany in our business, the biggest breakthrough we had was one day, like he said, we don't have cable. And so one thing that I do, if I feel like in that bored state, instead of getting on Hulu, I'll pull up one of the YouTube videos of one of the chairman leaders, Jason Brown, Matt Rosa, David Emenetie. And that specific day, I pulled up the chairman blueprint, and I realized that from August 2017, when we first got into the business, he had laid out the foundation of everything that we needed to do. Are you showing the plan 4 to 6 times a week? Are you showing the plan 4 to 6 times a week? That was literally, I mean, it was like a game changer. Like something just clicked and the light bulb went off. And it was literally like, I called Justin and said, bro, it was always there. I'm only showing the plan on Sundays at our weekly meeting that we were having. I'm only showing the plan one time a week, and I'm wondering why I feel stagnant. I haven't even done the bare minimum of what you said, which was show the plan 4 times a week. When I started showing the plan 4 times a week, the business started booming. It kept going. It kept going. People were getting plugged in. Because one thing that David Imonitie says is, if you don't have enough opportunities for somebody to see your business or your opportunity, why do you expect them to get in? You haven't even created the opportunity to expose enough people to what you're doing. And then you wonder why they're not getting in. What you got to do is create more opportunities. How many calls are you doing? I saw David do blitz calls. Cool. What are we going to do? We're going to blitz. We want to go chairman? We're going to blitz. Okay. We're this close? We're going to blitz. What you have to realize is there are people that are showing you. Are you doing exactly what you see? If seeing is truly believing, you see it every day. The reason why we couldn't go to bed before 1 o'clock, even though he had to be at work at 7 o'clock the next morning, was because I see Jason, I see Matt, I see David, I see Alex, and they're on flights all the time. All the time. So I'm like, well, we got to build it up if we expect to be at that level. So you're already building in your mind where you're expecting to be, so it doesn't feel bad. One, when you're serving people, guys, you have to do this from your heart. One thing that all of our leaders, all of the top chairmen, Jason, David, Alex, they all talk about serving from your heart. When you're doing this for other people and not for you, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I need to help them. Like chairman. Everybody's like, how does it feel? I said, well, first of all, you got to go there before you get there. So I already felt like this. It was just like, oh man, the back office has updated, okay? Because up here, it was already done the whole time. And if you truly don't understand, guys, the power of belief, the magic of believing, I mean, it's truly, truly, truly what got us here. This stuff works. This stuff works. This stuff works. Take what you're saying seriously. Take what you're seeing seriously, because you'll see it so much that it becomes a part of you, and it doesn't feel like you're doing anything that's outside of you. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do to get exactly where you expect to be. And one day you're going to look up and the back office is going to finally say what you've been saying to it the whole time.
The whole time. I'm telling you now, guys, like literally the stuff that they teach, the stuff that Jason, Alex, Matthew Rosa, David Imonitie, all these people teach is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. You say it all the time. You speak it all the time. You see it all the time. Eventually it'll manifest. These things happen. These things happen for them. So if I had to model anybody, I had to see if they've seen it for themselves, and if they manifested in their lives for themselves, what did they do? What did they do? Now you have to model what you see works already. You have to understand that's proof. That is proof right there that it works. So at the end of the day, now some people, you know, you kind of get lost. You may not know, I may not know how to trade. I may not know how to do this. Find a system. Find a system. Find something that worked for you. Find something that how did you learn how to trade? How did you get your foot off the pedal when you got a new customer in? Because now sometimes you may struggle with bringing new people in and you don't know what to do. You know, where to put them, where to send them, what educator to send them to. My favorite educator is Abel Melendez. He may be on this call right now. Abel, I send everybody to you, bro. I send everybody to you because he's an amazing educator. You have to put people in place. Look, this is what I did. In order for them to win, give them structure. You give these people structure, and now they can go out and win for themselves, because now your goal is to make their learning curve cut in half. You cut their learning curve in half. Now you get the results quicker. Now these people are believing quicker. Now I'm going to tell you the biggest multiplier of our business was promoting for events. Promoting for events. Guys, I'm telling you, if you become an animal and completely possessed on promoting for the next big event, it can be the complete multiplier of your business. I'm telling you, every time, every new customer you bring in, any new person you talk to, every leader you talk to, you should be pushing the next event down their throat. What I mean by that? You should be talking about it all the time. Tell them exactly why they should be there, because it's the biggest multiplier in their belief. These are things that, it's a muscle. It's a muscle. It has to continue. You have to continually be in the atmosphere, be in the room. But people, all I know is if I have somebody that I completely see potential in going chairman, I have to get them in front of people like Jason. I have to get them in front of people like Matt. I have to get them in front of people like David. I have to get these people in front of them so they can believe. So they can believe. Because I'm telling you, if you come out of these events on fire with a group of people on fire just like you, it can multiply your business by 10. It can multiply your business by 10. I've seen it happen. It's been done for us, and I know it can be done for you. You have to promote these events like nothing else matters. Like nothing else matters.
And definitely back to promoting events. What I'll say about that is, like, when we went to Vegas, our first event, one, don't miss an event that you qualified to be at, period. Don't ever miss an event. You got to lead from the front when it comes to that. If you're not there, why do you expect people to show up on your organization? If you don't have a ticket, why would they buy one from you, right? You have to make sure that you are leading from the front. Put yourself in position. Now they feel like they have to be there, but you have to be there too, because it's, look, guys, the truth of the matter is your flyer can get dimmed just like anybody else. We're not superhumans. We got to be in that exact same environment again, right? When we went to Vegas this year, like, man, we were this close, and we need to be done with this, right? We should be beyond the ropes. I don't want VIP. I want to be at the table, right? I want to be at a seat at the table. And what you got to recognize is when you start to believe that, you start to see that, you start to push forward. When it comes to these events, guys, do not miss one. You have to continue to stay plugged into the source. The company is the source. These events are the source. Your mentor is the source. These calls are the source. If you're not consistently being plugged in, you can get drained. Guys, we serve for a living. It's easy to get maxed out. It's easy to get maxed out. You got to stay plugged in. You got to be in a position where somebody else is able to pour into you too. However, you got to lead from the front. You got to be at the event yourself. When you show up at these events, guys, your flame is going to be lit. When we went to Vegas last year, one, we didn't make an excuse. It wasn't affordable at the time. It wasn't. We were planning for an entire wedding. Anybody on this call has been married before, you know that's not cheap, right? And guess what? We made it happen. David said, Justin said, stretch yourself. You need to be there. You need to be there. And I remember we were P1000s going for P2. I think we were like the farthest away in our entire organization of P1, the people that were going for P1000. Guys, it was just us two. It was just us. And every event, that was the time we said we can never come here by ourselves. Right? From what we experienced, we could never show up by ourselves. So where do we go next? Houston. I think it was 6 of us. Right? We went to Miami. It was about 20 of us. We went to Go Beyond, and we had over 100 people in our organization. And guess what, guys? We saw that in Vegas the day it was just us two. You got to see it before you get there. And guess what, guys? Vegas, same thing. We're going to do the same thing in Houston, the same thing in Dallas. We're going to continue to push forward to show people that this is what happens. This is the multiplier to your business. If you want to be on the stage, guys, you got to see people on the stage first. Don't watch that from the back line. You have to be there to see it so you can feel what it's going to feel like when it's going to be you, because that's all they're teaching us. They're showing us how to get there. They're giving you all the sauce that you need. You just have to go home, apply it, and guys, it is absolutely going to work for you.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you guys, you have to make that decision. If it wasn't before this call, it has to be now on this call, that you have to go all in on what you actually want. What you actually want in 2019 has to be a decision made tonight. It has to be made tonight, because I'm telling you, by 2020, everything should look different around you. The people should look different around you. The car you drive should look different. The house you live in should look different. The bag you receive should be different, because you made a different decision than what you've made in 2018. So that's the decision that you have to make now. Am I going to do the same thing I did last year? Am I going to listen to the same people I listened to last year? Or am I going to do exactly what I've been told and what I've seen to be proven that works, and do exactly that and make a decision that most people won't make?
Period. Guys, literally, the last thing I want to say, one, work works, guys. Yeah. Put yourself in position to where this time next year, the people that are comfortable being around you right now are uncomfortable being around you. One of my best friends said, I've watched you. I was the first person that you called, and I watched you soar to chairman, and I'm so excited for this accomplishment, but now I'm uncomfortable, and it put her in position to do something different. Be the change that everybody in your life needs to see, to believe that there's something different for them. Be the person that changed the course of everybody's mentality to understand that you don't have to do it. Guys, I have a music degree, okay? I wasn't taught about money. I wasn't taught to talk to people. I have a music degree. I'm supposed to be singing to the world, right? That's not what I wanted to do. I decided to do something totally out of my norm, fearlessly believing in me that whatever I put my hand on to will be golden. Right. And so with that being said, guys, we absolutely appreciate the opportunity, Jason, to have us on this call. And I'm super excited about what's happening in our company and ready to just keep going and serving. So thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
I wasn't even ready for you guys to stop. Like, I'm on fire. All the group chats, people freaking out. You two are something else. For real. No, I really appreciate the passion that you guys brought onto this call, because I think more than just the takeaways, you know, and look, I took incredible notes. I have a bunch of things that I'm going to recap that you guys talked about that's super important. But I think more than that, people need to see the type of energy that goes into leading, right? Because that's really a big part of this, is the energy that you bring to the table every single day, the passion that you have when you do this business. If you only have that passion maybe 1 or 2 days out of the week, your team's going to see you when you're on and they'll be motivated. They're going to also see you when you're off. And the energy that you guys bring consistently plays a very big role. Also, the chemistry that you guys have together, the way you're able to bounce back and forth, that's also very powerful. So you guys are major role models for a lot of people. And you'll see all the group chats, everybody's freaking out. So appreciate you guys. Look, I'm going to recap a couple things that they talked about. I do believe Jonathan Lopez is here, so I'm going to try to get him promoted to panelist while I do this. But look, one of the first things that they talked about was the word sacrifice, okay? You know, when you really make and decision, sacrifice and decision. And I talk about this a lot. And I believe Malcolm said it. You have to make a decision. He said it in the beginning, and then he also said in the end that you have to make a decision. Now, what is that? Oh, I'm going to be successful. No. It's got to be firm. It's got to be postured. It's got to be confident. It's got to be real. I'm going to do this no matter what happens. I'm going to be Chairman 500 no matter what. I don't know who's going to be there with me. I hope the A, B, C, D, E, F, G are with me, but I don't know. But I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to stop until the job is finished. So they talked a lot about sacrifice as well. And that's, look, what are you really willing to put aside? You know, what are you really willing to give up? Because you got to give something to get something. Everything in life is a trade. And you guys know that, right? In order for the euro to go up in Euro USD, well, the dollar either has to go down or the euro needs an impulse. There's always a trade, right? There's always something that has to be given for something to be received. So what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to take a challenge? Now, you might not have a mentor like Justin Owens in your ear, a coach. Justin's an incredible leader. You guys are going to see Justin on next week's Next Wave Leadership call, along with some other rock stars. So do not miss that. Justin's unbelievable. And you hear about a great coach that says, look, you guys got to be out till at least 1 o'clock every single day. Now, you know how many people he probably told that to? Probably a bunch. You know how many people probably took that serious? Probably not that many. But when you do things that most people are not willing to do, that is when you get the result. And Malcolm said this, if you do it long enough, you will get a result. And that's just the way that it works. And I always tell people, just be consistent. I don't care, Jason, what's your advice? Just be consistent. I don't care what anybody tells you. You could have all the skills in the world. But if you're not consistent, people like Brittany and Malcolm are going to continue to win. You look at Bryce Thompson, 22 years old, just hit Chairman 50. Okay, and he was like Chairman 25. I was talking to him earlier today. I'm like, bro, you just hit 25. Like, you didn't even get a chance to taste it. You know, like, you didn't even get a chance to feel it, to enjoy it. Maybe you got 2 Paylutions at Chairman 25, you know? And it's that consistency that really pays off. Stamina, right? Build yourself to be in the game long term. You know, I heard Alex Morton in my first company 5.5, almost 6 years ago say in an audio, go all in for, Go all in for 3 to 5 years. You could have everything that you want, right? Go all in for 5 years. I'm going to tell you guys, go all in for 5 to 7 years. Make a 5 tonight. Make a 5 to 7 year decision. Because I was texting one of our leaders the other night. Actually, he's out in Czech Republic. And, you know, he's going through a little bit of adversity in his business. And we were talking, and I told him, he said, man, you know, how fast did you and Matt grow? And I said, year 1, I made about $3,000. Year 2, I made about $13,000. Year 3, maybe $15,000 total. I was about $70,000 in debt. Year 4, 6 figures. Year 5, 7 figures. Year 6 is close to 8 figures. And so, look, the consistency pays. The long nights, the early mornings. It really does pay off. But you got to have stamina in the game. Look at Matthew Rosa as well. 6.5 years in the industry, 3 years, no results. But he was there for that long-term decision. I love what they said, run the play and be in position, okay? Just run the play. Just do the work, right? What I see about that is you got to be in the game to score the points. You got to show up to win. And, look at Matt. He took his family, another great example, Matthew Rosa, right? He took his family to Puerto Rico. He took, I think, 18 people from his family, got a beautiful villa in Puerto Rico. But he also did an event. So he had this beautiful 3-4 days of hiking and bonding and all this stuff. But he said, you know what? I'm going to be in Puerto Rico. Let's do an event. Had 400 people there last night or whatever it was. So be in the game, run the play, put in the work. And the last thing I'm going to touch on that they said is events. Guys, right now, I'm going to challenge you right now. If you're in the United States, you need your ticket for Take Flight and you need your ticket for I Am. So Take Flight in Houston is going to be a killer, ridiculous event, guys, that's coming up in May. I am super, super, super excited for that event. David Imonitie always brings utmost value. His events are incredible. I will never miss one. So I'll be at Take Flight, and you need to be there as well. But also make your commitment to I Am. Type I Am in the group chat, okay? Type I Am in the group chat if you already have your ticket. Okay. Oops. Sorry. So someone on here is Matt Rosa, but Matt Rosa would not talk like that on this webinar. So anyway, if you already have your ticket for I Am, type I Am in the group chat. All right. I Am. Look at all these I Ams. And if you're going to get your ticket, you do not have your ticket yet, and you're going to get your ticket, type zeros. Give me a couple zeros. 0, 0, 0. So if you don't have your ticket, but you're going to make that commitment, type 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Now, here's the challenge. Here's the challenge I'm going to put out. I want everybody to get, because what Brittany and Malcolm said was so important, and that's why I'm like not letting this recap go, because this is powerful. Their first event, they brought just themselves. Their second event, they brought 6. Their third event, they brought 20. And then to Houston, they brought 100. And I don't remember if they said how many they brought to convention, but it was probably over 100, right? So what I'm going to challenge everybody to do is buy one ticket per $1,000, okay? One ticket per $1,000. Yeah, Matt, I knew that wasn't Matthew Rosa. So, guys, somebody is using Matt Rosa's name and using profanity. That's not Matt, just so we're very clear. So let's get back on topic. Okay. Per $1,000 you make in residual income, I challenge you to get one ticket to give away. So if you're a P1000, 1 ticket to give away. P2000, 2 tickets to give away. P5000, 5 tickets to give away. Chairman 10 tickets to give away. 25, 25, 50, 50. Matthew Rosa and I bought 500 tickets, $48,500. So we bought 500 tickets. Listen to what I said. $48,500 we bought to give away because we understand the true undying power of events. People ask, how did you do it? Events. That's the answer. That's the answer. Okay? So you got to promote events, and that's my challenge. If you're going to take that challenge, type 888 in the chat box if you're going to do that, because I'm telling you guys, the more people you have on your team at that event, the bigger, better your results are going to be for the following 3 to 6 months. Incredible. Now imagine you compound these events one after the other. It's completely game over. So, Brittany and Malcolm, you guys got me fired up over here at like 10 o'clock. It's a combination of that and pre-workout 2 hours ago. So I'm living the dream right now. And yes, I know I went to a baseball game today and I wore a hat and I have a sunburn right here. It's completely terrible, but whatever. It is what it is. So without any further ado, I'm really excited to have my brother, Jonathan Lopez, up here. I absolutely admire this gentleman as a human being. He's just a good person. Okay, but not only a good person, a great leader. He's built organizations of thousands for a very, very, very long time. He's built organizations that are global. Okay, so what I want you guys to understand is, Brittany and Malcolm did touch on this. We travel a lot. And when I started in this business, and I know the same is for Matt Rosa because we were building together for the first few years, we did not have a big international presence. We did not have a lot of people international. We were dying for that, trying to get people in Europe, trying to get people in Australia, trying to get people in Africa, trying to get people in South America excited about what we were doing. And it did take some time, but now we have literally groups all around the world, and it's extremely motivating and exciting. So I know Johnny is here tonight. He's going to talk about a bunch of stuff, but I also, Johnny, want you to give these people some advice about building international. You have a massive organization that you work with in Germany, Mexico, Colombia, and far beyond. And so Canada, right? You've built a lot international as well. And I know that's your expertise. And I don't think you speak German, so we need the nuggets. Guys, Chairman 50 on the line tonight. Let's get in that chat box. And let's make him a huge warm welcome, Mr. Jonathan Lopez. Let's see if he's out there. Johnny.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Can you see me?
Boom. Yes.
Perfect. Well, before we even start, I just want to say, Jason, I appreciate you. Thank you for actually having me on this call. Guys, if you're on this call and you don't personally know Jason, right, you have to understand that he's one of the most genuine leaders I ever seen in my life, alongside his business partner, Matt Rosa. When I first met him, we necessarily weren't in the same business. We weren't building the same business. And the first thing he said is, count on me on whatever you need. He's not only said that, but he's been there from day one. You see, about 2 to 3 months ago, we had a convention in Germany, around 2,000 to 3,000 people. Jason did not benefit from our team, yet he said, dude, I'm still out there. I'm still going. We have a 5,000 people plus event. Jason's going out there. Matt's going out there. So with every, cent of my heart, I just want to say I appreciate you boys. I love you boys. Guys, if you guys are on this call, you don't know how lucky you guys are to have him, not only as a leader, as a friend, as a mentor, because I could generally tell you that Jason and Matt are the most humble, right, hands down leaders I ever seen in my life. And that's coming from somebody that traveled the world, seen and talked to multiple 6, 7, and 8-figure earners. But I can tell you that there's nothing more special than the leadership here in iMarkets Live. So again, thank you very much. Congrats on that new whip. I saw you guys got that Lamborghini together. Those are goals for sure. Matt, Jason, love you boys to death. And with that being said, before I even go over my training, I kind of wanted to go over a little bit about my story, because I do think my story connects to the training and connects to how the building aspect goes. Right? Because some of us in this call might be going through certain things that we've gone through, might be connecting with Jason and Matt's story, might connect with my story. So real quick, guys, my name is Jonathan Lopez. I'm 25 years old. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was never the smartest person in the room. I saw my parents, me being the only child, my dad coming from Honduras, playing professional, right, soccer, my mom being Colombian. I saw them both come from a third world country for the American dream. I saw them come with the hopes, aspirations of doing something better, but I also saw them struggling and give everything they had for the American dream. Something that is never told to you if you're Hispanic is, if you go to the U.S., if you come to the U.S. from a different country, you don't know the language, you don't know, you don't have the right paperwork, you don't know anybody over there, right? There's nothing, right? There's nothing out here that says it's the American dream. So early on in my age, from 4, 5, 6 years old, I would always see my mom, I would always see my dad, right, work from 4 in the morning, 10 p.m. My dad would work in construction. My mom would clean houses. And every time I would walk to school, which was a 40, 50-minute walk because we couldn't afford the bus, right, I would walk through 2 different types of neighborhoods, a humble one, which is the one I lived in, and a very wealthy one. And every time I walked through that, I asked myself, I go, it would be nice to go through a lot of money. You see, money isn't the root of all evil, right? The lack of money is. And I do believe, at least my Christianity, right? My belief level is we go through life once, right? It'll be nice to enjoy life, right? Live life by design, live life by your own terms. So growing up, I would always go and think about this and try to find a way to retire my family until I was 16. I remember one of my professors, right, pulling me back in class and saying, Johnny, listen, in 2 years you graduate high school. let me tell you something. You're not that smart. Focus in sports. Focus in getting better in sports, because if you're not becoming better in sports, you're not going to get anywhere. So mind you this, I'm 16. I've just been told by one of my professors, I'm not that smart to focus in sports because I'm not going to go anywhere, right? So I went back. I told my dad. My dad said, listen, I love you to death. You're my only son. You're my favorite son, right? So every 30 minutes we had every Sunday, we'll practice. I got good enough. I got a scholarship to St. Louis University. It's one of the best universities for soccer, for sports out in Missouri. And it was then, where I do think, Jason says it all the time. David says it all the time. Matt says it all the time. The biggest blessings come in disguise, right? At 16, I was shown an opportunity, a business opportunity. I was shown, right, network marketing. I was shown the beautiful industry of MLM. And I kind of introduced myself into it, but didn't take it seriously. Now, when I went back to college, right, where I thought I had everything solved, I was going to play in college for 4 years, then, go out and focus. Every single time I was in college, I would focus on 3 things. 1, soccer. 2, parties. 3, girls. And I thought I had everything figured out. And it's the last year, right, before I was able to actually play for the MLS, where the biggest blessing in disguise came true, right? The last game, I tore my ACL, I tore my meniscus. And when I found out that I got everything taken away, my professor, my coach said, Johnny, listen, the school doesn't want to pay for your operation. You're kind of useless to the school anymore. Congrats, you have 24 hours. Please get everything off the dorm rooms. Thank you very much for playing for me. I love you to death, but you can no longer be going to school. Your scholarship is taken away. And I had everything ripped away from me at the time. I thought I was going through the biggest struggles, right? But then the biggest blessing was given to me, right? At 4 a.m., I received a call from one of my buddies who's still in Miami. He called me over 10 times. I picked up at 4:30 a.m. and he said, Johnny, we're going to be rich, right? He generally said, Johnny, we're going to be rich, right? The first thing I told him was like, dude, I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want anything to deal with that. I got everything taken away from me. But he said 2 words that changed my life. He said, Johnny, please, right? I promise you, if you see this opportunity, you take it seriously, right? And you cut your ego, you don't let your ego be bigger than your bank account, I promise you, it will change your life. The rest was history. At 18 years old, we were able to make over 6 figures. But that opportunity that I first joined, right? The opportunity that I first joined went away. And, it's when I decided to actually step back and look for mentors. You see, I do believe there's 2 ways of learning this business. One, personally, you're doing everything yourself. Don't get me wrong, you can do that. But you're going to save yourself a lot of time, hassle, and money, right, by having mentors like Matt Rosa, Jason Brown, Deborah Moniti, Alex Morin, right? Because they know what not to do and what to do in this business to grow. So I decided to actually fly down to my mentor who made multiple 7 figures and actually learn hands-on and just absorb as much as possible. I stayed a full week with him, right? And I asked him, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Let me see how a multiple 7-figure earner, runs his business, what he does. Because in my head, you have to be working all the time. You have to be on top. You have to be doing 10, 20, 50 Zoom calls, personally enrolling 200, 300 people a day. I was 18. And when I got to his house, right, when I spent a whole weekend with him, right, I could tell you generally that the one thing I learned, right, is that everything that you probably do today, if you're on this call, all the invites, all the meetings, all the events, right, you guys are doing exactly what we do on a daily basis. We just compress time frames. I repeat, you guys are doing the exact same work we do. We just compress time frames. I saw this guy, right, instead of having a meeting for 5, 10, 20 people, he was having a Zoom call with 500 to 1,000 people, right? I saw him do a presentation. Instead of having a presentation with 5, 10 of his closest best friends, he was doing a presentation with 500 to 600 people. And I realized that he did the exact same thing I did, but 2 things were different. 1, right, his posture. 2, he compressed time frames. You see, one thing is you guys today, right, you guys got to be sure 100% that you're going to have success in this business. You see, my mentor said, Johnny, right, there's a lot of people that join this business, but they join to try things out. I did not join to try things out. I launched a business to be successful in that business, right? So the first thing I can tell you today is change your posture, right? I have seen kids, younger than me come into the business, Scotty Huss, right, 19 years old, right, no business tech whatsoever, come in and hit chairman. Right? Why? Because the posture they have, the belief they have in not only their plan, their comp plan, but in their product and company and the posture that they have, and understand that IML is the best opportunity out there. So today, the first thing I want you to do is change the prospect, change your posture to understand that number one, you have the best of the best leadership in the world in MLM here. Two, you have the best of the best company and products and services in the world. There's nothing that compete with us or comes close to what we are, but you just got to believe it in yourself, right? With that being said, I did learn this mentally aspect of having a social business, having an international business, and growing a multiple, thousands of people business. And this is the 6 keys that I'm going to go over, right, on how to create your business, how to have a growth business. Number one, guys, it's called, right, Believe Much Bigger. Yes, it's called Believe. Christopher Terry, Jonathan Lopez. What's going on? Yes, believe much bigger, right? You hear David say it all the time. You hear Jason say it all the time. You hear Matt say it all the time. It's a believe, 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 right? But most of us, sometimes we just sit back and we go, perfect. If it was that easy, then everybody will have success, right? I believe, Matt, Jason, I believe I could be chairman, but I'm not even P150. No, I want you to go back today, right? And truly believe that you can have success in this business. Right? Because my mentor said, Johnny, there comes a time you stop clapping and stop being in the crowd and start speaking to the crowd. I repeat, there comes a time you stop being in the crowd to start speaking to the crowd. We always say the people with the marker, the people on stage make the most money, right? Back in the day, I believed and I worship, leaders like Jason and Matt. Today, I tell you, worship them, right? Get mentored by them, but believe that they're nothing special, right? I love them to death. But Johnny, Jason, Matt, Chris, Alex, everybody, we're skin and bones, 2 hands, 2 feet. We're nothing special. You all could do it and believe that you can have success just as much, right? If you believe small and say, hey, I can hit P600, you can hit Chairman 500, right? Jason, Matt, when I first heard Jason's story, he was like, dude, I was delivering pizza. He went from delivering pizza to probably making a pizza every second, right? Making the money to buy a couple of thousand pizzas every second. Why? Because he believed if he can make $500, he can make Chairman 500 money. And now Chairman, next rank up money. So today, change believe much bigger and change the belief level, right? And start changing belief. Remember, I repeat, there comes a time you stop being in the crowd, start clapping, and start speaking to the crowd. Because the people on stage, the people with the marker are the people that make the most money. That's the number one key that I could give you guys, right? Believe much bigger. The second one, I'm a true believer, right? When I saw my mentor work, multiple 7-figure earner, the one thing that he taught me, he said, Johnny, in life, you got to be productive over reactive. In life, you have to be productive over reactive. You see, most people today, right, they join businesses, but they don't take action until Jason, Matt, or somebody else does a Zoom call, does a leadership call, or decide to come into the market and do a presentation. Today, right, I tell you, stop being reactive. Stop reacting towards Matt going to Puerto Rico, deciding to do an event for you to start inviting and showing the plan. Right? That is called reactive. That it's only motivation, and start being productive, right? What does that mean? Today, I want you to close your eyes, right? And imagine, real quick, do this exercise with me. Imagine you just walked into your house, right? You have your keys in your hands, and all of a sudden your keys fall. There's no light. You're looking around for over 30, 40 minutes, right? You can't find your keys. All of a sudden you look outside the window and you see lights, right? Common sense is where there's light, I'm going to go search over there. You might say it might not make sense, but there's light. I'm going to go search over there. You go outside. You start looking for the keys outside. All of a sudden, Jason or Matt comes out and says, what are you looking for? I tell them, hey, listen, I lost my key. Help me find it. For 30, 40, 50 minutes, we're outside looking for our keys. Jason or Matt go, Johnny, where did you lose your keys exactly? I tell them, Jason, Matt, I lost them inside. Jason tells me, Johnny, then why are we looking for your keys inside? What does that mean? I'm not saying be ignorant. That sounds kind of like, Johnny, what are you talking about? Perfect. Some of us got to stop playing the blaming game. Stop blaming our upline, our downline, our cross lines, our teams, right? Our personal recruits for not having success in this business, for not showing the business, and start looking and blaming within. If it's up to me, it's up to me. You see, the reason you have results or you don't have results is not because of your team. It's not because of your upline. It's not because of your cross line. It's just because you and you within. Stop playing the blaming game. And if you're looking for the problem, look within. The same thing, right? The solutions are within. If it's up to be, it's up to me. If it's up to be, it's up to me. What does that mean? Do the presentations, right? Personally go out and start talking to new people. Personally say, you know what? If my upline isn't doing the presentations or the events, I'm going to go out and host a presentation. I'm going to go out and I'm going to host a leadership call. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a hotel presentation. I'm going to do a regional, right? Stop depending on people. Stop playing the blaming game. Oh, it's because my upline doesn't talk to me, and start depending on yourself. You see, you go from being a customer in iMarkets Live to being IBO. Keyword, independent business owner. Keyword, independent. Become independent. Yes, right? Get mentored by your leaders, right? Follow your leaders, but become independent. Fire them and tell them, hey, with or without you, I'm going to have success. I repeat, with or without you, I'm going to have success. Number 2, right? Number 3, no excuses or justification. He said, Johnny, the other thing I could teach you, right, out of 6 steps is called no excuses or justifications. No excuses or justifications. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He says, look, I travel over 120 countries. I met multiple successful people. I met people that have success, that have no success, just like myself. And he said, Johnny, the one thing I learned is that everybody in the world has things going on. Everybody that has success does not make excuses. Everybody that doesn't have success has a million excuses, and they feel sorry for themselves why this business doesn't work for them. Today, I tell you, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Start telling yourself that because of what you're going through, you can't have success, because somebody like you, I promise you, somebody in another country is going either the same or worse than you, but they're still having success in the business. That's like me when I first started saying, dude, I came illegally to this country. I was illegal for 19 years of my life because I was illegal and I couldn't get a job. I was not going to have success in this business. Yet multiple 7-figure earner. No, stop making excuses. Stop making justifications why you can't have success in the business, and go out and change your mindset to, hey, if it's up to be, it's up to me. No excuses, just full out throttle. You know, a story that I like to compare with is of a very multi-successful business lady. You know, and I'll say her story real quick, right? One of my mentors always said, Johnny, listen, right? The biggest example of this is the first African-American female billionaire in the world. Most of you guys know who she is. If not, you're about to hear her story, right? At 15, her mom got pregnant with her. When she grew up, she got raped by her family members. At 14, she got pregnant just like her mom. She lost her child. You know, she saw her child at 14 literally die in front of her hands. You know, that leaves people crazy. An average human being seeing their child, you know, their firstborn, that leaves somebody crazy. Yet this woman went out, right, and not only become, right, one of the most successful women in the world, but became the first African-American billionaire in the world. Her name is Oprah Winfrey, right? She did not make excuses because of the background she grew in, because of this had happened to her. She went out and made it happen. Yes, she's one of the most happiest person in the world. And guess what? She's one of the most given people in the world. Stop making excuses or justification why you can't have success. I promise you, your story might be deep to you, but somebody else is going through the same or worse than you. So you know what? Zero excuses, zero justification. Go out and make it happen, right? Number 4, what you think of is what you become. What you think of is what you become. And guys, remember, success is 90% in the brain, 10% 90% mentally, 10% physical. You guys already do the work. The difference is the mentality of a 6- and 7-figure earner, of an 8-figure earner is completely different, right? So today, you have to understand that what you think of is what you become, right? The law of attraction, it's 100% real. Growing up, I used to make fun of this. I did not believe in this, right? But I saw my mentor say, Johnny, right, for the next 40 days, surround yourself with successful people, multiple 6, 7, right? Multiple 6, 7, and 8-figure business earners from different fields, right? See how they talk, see how they walk. And over those 30 days, I promise you, if you hang around the 4 successful people, you're going to be the 5th. I hanged around enough successful people that I became successful, right? There's a saying, if you hang around 4 bums, you're the 5th bum. If you hang around 4 right successful people, you're the 5th successful person. Now, the next part to this is what you think you become, right? Is that you have to understand that everything that you put in your brain is 100% true. If you think you're broke, and all you see is broke, then you're going to be broke. If you think this business isn't for you or it's not going to work out for you, guess what? It's not going to work out. Why? Because you put your own limitations. What you think is what you become, right? It's like having a bad moment. Every single time somebody tells me, I tell them, hey, how's it going? People tell me, oh, I'm having a bad day. And has it happened that you have a bad moment? Thinking that you're having a bad day leads to another bad moment and another bad moment and another bad moment? Perfect example. Because you're thinking of that 1, 10, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 minute bad second, bad moment that you're happening, and you keep on attracting it, asking yourself, why is this happening to me, right? So what you think is what you become. If you're having a bad moment, your car broke down, instead of looking at it negative, guess what? You know what? Maybe I needed to walk more. I needed to lose a few pounds, right? If your girlfriend broke up with you, you know what? Maybe I needed to be single to stay more focused into my business, right? If you lost your leg, you know what? Perfect. I want to be a pirate for Halloween, right? Stop thinking negative and think positive, right? Think and Grow Rich, the #1 key to success, right? Napoleon Hill says it all the time, right? Is a negative thought and a positive thought cannot exist in your brain. So if you're thinking positive, right, then you're doing positive. If you feel good, you see good. If you feel good, you look good. And if you look good, you do good. That exact same thing. You talk to Jason. Jason might be going and stressed out, but you tell him, Jason, how are you? He goes, great, man. He checks his Paylution and he goes, I'm extra great, right? You talk to Matt, it's like, yeah, everything's phenomenal, brother. Bro, couldn't complain. You talk to Alex, how's everything going? Bro, I couldn't even fathom this. You talk to Chris will never be in a bad moment. Chris is always smiling. No matter what, he finds a solution. Today, start thinking positive instead of negative and start hanging around the right people, right? It pays to be around the right people, right? Next, guys, be open to everything and attached to nothing. Be open to everything and attached to nothing. Be open to everything and attached to nothing. To this day, right? Jason, Matt, myself, every big leader in this company, right? We're still coachable. We still learn. We still have the open eyes and open ears, right? Because we are willing to learn. We understand that we don't know it all. You see, the reason why, right? The reason why we're at the ranks we are is because one day, back in the day, we were the best listeners. We were the best students. The best students become the best teachers. Today, right? Be open to everything. If you're a Chairman 10, if you're a P5000, or if you're a P150, right? Be open to everything. Guys, if you're a Chairman 10 today and a P150 joins my business, guess what I do? I still listen to them, and I know I could understand or probably learn something of what not to do, what to do in this business to take me to the next level. I understand that every new person I could always learn from. I don't think I know it all. Jason is always learning, taking notes. Matt is always learning, taking notes. Today, be coachable and be open to everything. A lot of information, right? Because I know I don't know it all, but attached to nothing, right? What do I mean by attached to nothing? You have to understand that word of mouth advertising, our industry, young kids making multiple 7 and 8 figures, to 25-year-old, 26-year-olds, right? Chairman 500s pulled out Lamborghinis together, paid full cash. What? That is impossible, right? When something new registers in a person's brain that they have not seen, right? It shifts their paradigm shift. What does that mean, right? They think negative. They think it's impossible. They think that those things don't work. So people always will think down upon misinformation, right? So you have to understand that if you talk to your best friends and your best friends don't see the iMarkets Live vision, then don't feel bad if they tell you, hey, it's one of those things. Separate yourself from them, okay? Respect their opinion, right? But separate yourself from them, but don't let that hurt you. The biggest thing that you can do today, which is one of the biggest things I did, guys, when I joined this business, I went back home at 16. I joined one of my first companies. I told my mom, I got a job. I didn't even understand what I was doing, right? She said, how, you're illegal, Johnny, you can't get a job? She said, explain to me, what are you doing? I told her, oh, you recruit and we become rich and everybody buys Lamborghini. She goes, oh, you joined one of those things to store your identity. Guess what I told her? No, I stored your card and your identity because I'm not even legal enough to sign up for the company. Guess what she tells me now? Hey, when are we going on the next vacation? So don't let your why be the reason why you don't do this business. If your mom, dad, family members, uncles, friends, best friends, boyfriend, girlfriend don't see the vision, don't get butthurt, right? Don't fight with them. Don't go against them. Respect it, right? But understand that your vision is bigger enough, right? So don't let the reason why you started this business be the reason why you're not doing this business, right? Be open to everything, but attached to nothing. That's, if not one of the biggest keys, the biggest key into this business. Stop caring about what people tell you or what people's opinions, because opinions don't pay your bills, right? People's opinions don't pay your bills. And if they don't pay your bills, stop caring what they think, right? People are just butthurt that they come from the same background as you, but you have a bigger vision and a bigger mission for yourself. So today, be open to everything, but attached to nothing. And last but not least, guys, don't be a replica, become an original. Don't be a replica, become an original. This is something that Matt and myself love to touch on, right? I tell you, hey, be an original, be yourself. There's only one of yourself, right? You have to understand today, there's a saying, do what they do, say what they say, and you get what they get, right? Now, Matt, myself, we always say, hey, do what they do, duplicate what they teach, but be yourself. You see, I come across a lot of people in this industry, in this business, right, that they start having some momentum or they start growing, right? But they forget that what inspired the momentum, what inspired them to get to that level of, P5000, chairman, or success story, it's their story, their personality. People buy into you, not the company. People buy into you, your story, and what your mission and goal is for this business, right? And not the company. People buy into you first. So, right, today, I tell you, be yourself. Do what they do. Duplicate what they say, but be yourself, right? There's only one David Imonitie in the world. There's only one Matt Rosa in the world. There's only one Jason Brown in the world. Yes, Jason's younger brother looks just like Jason. Perfect. Guess what? They're two complete different human beings. Even if you have a twin, those twins are complete human beings. There's only one you, so be an original. When's the last time, right, you paid, right, the same amount of money for the real thing than a replica? A replica will never cost the same amount. So today, find your own value, find your own worth, right? And guess what? Go out and be yourself. Be authentic. Share your story, because your story will create more stories. Don't share other people's story. Yes, create that, but share your story, and your story will create other stories. I promise you. I promise you, if you guys follow this step by step, along with the work ethic, along with the business meetings, along with reaching out to people internationally, right? Seeing people, maybe somebody or work down the lines, and you have somebody in your business that speaks Spanish, German, or any other language, right? And you reach out to them and tell them, hey, you know what? Right? How about we do launch calls every day, and we give this opportunity to less fortunate people, and you meet, right? And you start doing launch calls for people in Colombia, Peru, Europe, right? Your team will grow not only internationally, will not only grow fast, but it will duplicate the right way. So today, guys, I please beg you, right? Be yourself. Be open to everything. Don't be attached to other information, right? Start thinking, start doing what you want to be in the future. Start thinking, start hanging around the right people. Stop making excuses, right? Stop and become proactive, right? Don't play the blaming game. And guess what? Have a bigger vision. If you want to be just a Chairman 10 today, I challenge you to say, you know what? Forget Chairman 10. I'm going and I'm going to be Chairman 500. Please, I challenge you today. If you have a vision, expand it times 10. Go out and make it happen. Jason, I want to pass it up to you. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you for having me on this call. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and hope to meet you in person, guys. Love you guys.
Let's go. Guys, jump in the chat box. Let's show some love to the man, the myth, the legend, Jonathan Lopez. Johnny, we appreciate you, bro. So many nuggets. This is a great call. We're going to have the recording of this up, so make sure you guys pay attention to the IML official Telegram, the Next Wave chat if you're in there, or ask your upline Chairman 10 to make sure that they drop that link in your group chats. It'll also be on the IML Elite Facebook group, as well as my YouTube channel. If you type in Jason Brown iMarkets Live, you'll see all the Next Wave leadership calls from the past couple months. So incredible. You know, Johnny talked about a bunch of really, really important things. Okay, while you're doing that, let's also show love one more time to Brittany and Malcolm and Jonathan. Let's give both of them so much love for this call. Johnny talked about finding a mentor. Guys, when the student is ready, the mentor will appear. I cannot tell you how many messages I get on Facebook and Instagram. Jason, how do I get a mentor? And I always tell people, when the student is ready, the mentor will appear. You do not go out and chase down or beg your mentor. When you are ripe and ready, that mentor will identify you. So work hard. You know, would you want Brittany and Malcolm in your organization? Would you want a Jonathan Lopez in your organization? Yes. You see the energy, you see the leadership, you see the tenacity. Look for people in your organization who have those qualities. Because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of people out there, young couples that are looking to get married, that want to make some money, that don't want to be a part of the norm, that want to quit their jobs, that want to serve. They're out there. There's more Brittany and Malcolms out there. There's young guys who family moved to the United States every single day, don't speak the language, but need an opportunity. There's more Jonathan Lopez's out there. You guys got to find them in your organization and mentor them. Show them what you did. Show them these calls. If you don't believe you're capable of being a mentor, guys, point them to the tools. Brittany and Malcolm touched on that quite a bit. They talked about all the videos and the tools that they used, all my videos, Matt's videos, Chris Derrick's videos, et cetera, et cetera. Utilize the tools to get to the next level. Very important. Okay, Johnny talked about his mentor. No surprise. Basics, his mentor was doing the basics, but in compressed time frames. So find out what works and just figure out how you can do it faster and more efficiently, because what works has worked for a very long time, okay? We do have the best leadership, the best company, and the best timing. Right now, guys, when the momentum is running, when the tides are rising, that is the best time, because rising tides raise all ships. Right now, iMarkets Live is on fire. We have a gentleman who's about to hit Chairman 25. We have multiple people who are about to break Chairman 10. Big things are happening. There's momentum across the board, and you just got to make a decision to be a part of that, because that's all it really, truly comes down to, all right? So don't be a replica, be an original. Be you. Create a brand, right? Create a brand worth talking about and have a bigger vision and stretch. Both, all three of them talked about stretching and just thinking bigger than what's in the moment. That's how you really have success. So, iMarkets Live family, till next week, we've got an amazing lineup. Make sure you're here. Make sure you promote these calls throughout the week. Edify these calls, because they are massive. So much great stuff. I've been a part of this profession now for almost 6 years, and these calls get me more fired up than almost anything that takes place throughout the week. So, guys, I'm going to get this up on YouTube ASAP. We'll see you next week. And, yeah, go out and crush it. Take action. Make it happen. See you guys soon.